In this podcast, I had the humbling opportunity to interview Tyler and Adam Hoover. Everyone knows Tyler, anti-hero, was a cop down in Florida. And then Adam is still an active law enforcement officer out west. Him and I have similar jobs, just different agencies. And I thought it was a great dynamic. Adam is a very cop's cop, I guess you could say. Like, he loves the job, similar to I do. And it's a good dynamic to watch Tyler's perspective on law enforcement. And I think that comes from, having a shitty administration. Tyler got a small sample of law enforcement with one agency. Adam's been at 3 different agencies, and he absolutely loves the profession. Seeing different administrations and how they operate, he understands where Tyler's coming from. They both worked at the same agency for a while, and they both agree that it wasn't the best agency. But Adam having a different perspective of seeing different agencies made the podcast amazing, and always having that good banter and debate with Tyler is awesome. We both care about the profession. I care about it probably, or I express it in a different way than Tyler does. But in the grand scheme of things, Tyler loves law enforcement and he wants to make it better. And that's ultimately his goal with a lot of things he does. Comes off sometimes brash and brazen, but in his heart, he wants to make the law enforcement community better. Let me know what you think of the podcast. I loved it. I love having the debates with Tyler, and I hope you guys do as well.
You got to ask yourself, why do you want to do this? What keeps you motivated to stay proactive and get bad guys off the street?
The facts is a big cannon against a little tiny gun of opinions, because we've all heard people give us their opinions.
Let's talk about how easy it is to get narcotics in this country.
Once they're in this country, anywhere within 2 days, the drugs will be in our cities.
Because we know knowledge is power.
Appreciate you guys. This should be an interesting dynamic with Adam, who's a good cop, and then you got Tyler, who hates cops. So.
Hates cops.
Where you at, Tyler? Not in the studio?
I'm in my wife's studio.
Oh, the butterflies in the background make it look cute for you. It looked real tough. Butterflies flying around behind you. All right. So I've already had Tyler on. We'll just jump right into it. I don't know if anyone knows Adam. Adam is Tyler's brother. I don't know who's older. Adam's still on the job out west. I don't know if I can say where. And my goal here is kind of let Adam have the floor for a little bit and talk about growing up, and then you guys could banter off each other. But I've already had Tyler on. I know a lot of his backstory, and then we can get into just normal conversation about life. And I appreciate you rocking the Ace It shirt too.
Is that one of your shirts?
Sounds good.
No, it's another Interdiction. One of my buddies down in Arizona. It's his company.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I grew up with Tyler and same background. We grew up with a dad in law enforcement for several decades. I've been going to trainings with him since I was a kid. So yes, Tyler, if I wasn't wearing a police uniform, I was running around in a camouflage, either pretend to be a cop or pretend to be in the military. So
I'm surprised he's not wearing a police uniform right now.
Exactly. So pretty much all I knew growing up, knew what I was going to do. I went to my first interdiction course when I was like 16. Our dad was teaching it, and just did the military to get me from that 18 to 21. So I joined law enforcement when I was 23 in a small town in Virginia. Stayed there for about 4 years, had a lot of fun, but was looking for a little bit more growth, something with more opportunity. So I moved down to Florida with a cop with Tyler, and how he felt in that video about that agency, I'd say probably 90% of the people felt like that. And that was the first time I was being getting that. His video was very accurate for the like how people feel there, but that was the first time ever in my life I thought I wasn't going to be a cop, and decided to make a drastic change and moved all the way out west to where there's less people in our state and that whole county. So
that's crazy. So there's some of the truth behind what Tyler's saying, because it's a shitty agency. But across the board, you've been to 3 agencies now. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, he's spot on with that one agency. I had a lot of fun at my first agency. It was very community oriented. They allowed pursuits. They allowed us to be proactive though. It was just, it was 3.2 square miles. So with no interstate, it's just patrolling a little town. 4 years I had enough, and I wanted to try to find something with more proactive units, stuff like that. So then out here, I'm loving it. I mean, we're not perfect. No agency's perfect, but overall, we have it pretty good. I'm in a very solid spot, make my own schedule. And even if you are just a regular troop, you're going out and just driving wherever you want to drive. It's such a big area.
Does your old agency does your old agency still do pursuits, or they calm down?
I think they still do. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe they still do.
Yeah. Who's older?
I am.
I think it's pretty evident that I'll probably be speaking at the Justice X conference, but I wanted to give my little instructor spiel like everyone else is. And the main reason is because I wanted to come in here and thank all these amazing instructors that are willing to donate their time away from their family, their profession, and their friends to come and make the profession better. I don't know how I became so lucky with the ability to surround myself with amazing people in this profession. I have some of the most amazing friends in this profession. They're the most selfless individuals willing to go out on a whim and put a conference together with me and just to try to make the profession a little bit better. And I don't know how I pulled this off. I don't know what it is, but I'm beyond grateful for them. That being said, when I speak at the conference, communication is the biggest thing to me. I think that communication is the most important tool that we have as cops, and that's not verbal communication. That could be nonverbal communication. I'm going to focus a lot of my instruction on that aspect, where communication is universal. It doesn't have to just pertain to interdiction. It's all of law enforcement. If you have the ability to communicate with someone that is a multimillionaire and a guy that's homeless living on the street, your career is going to be a lot more fruitful. And you have this ability to have a lot more empathy when you're communicating and understanding and being actively listening. Someone else came up with this. I love it, so I'm going to throw it out there. As cops, we are often waiting to respond and we're not actively listening, but you can't do them both. So I think as cops, you ask a question, engage, and actively watch what their response is. It doesn't have to be this such a strict format of what you're asking, chronological order or anything like that. Let a conversation flow like you're talking to one of your friends. Don't just be so rigid. And that's where I think a lot of us fail, and it's not our fault. Until you know that you're doing it wrong, you'll never know. Like I was very robotic as a cop, and I couldn't communicate with people. I know that for a fact. I'm introverted, and I go to the police academy and all this other stuff. But anyways, I can't wait to see you in South Carolina in April of 2026 with all these amazing instructors.
Yeah, the town he was a cop in, man, it's like, it's only 3.2 miles, but you better not cross into that 3.2 miles. You gotta go the long way around if you're gonna commit crime.
Notorious. we were right outside of a major city.
Okay.
And there's spots where you can get from one part of the city to the other through our town, and that's usually where I just sit there and just watch cars coming in trying to cut through the town. And like Tyler said, people knew to stay out of the town just because at the end of the day, we were small and didn't have much going on. So the whole "do you have nothing better to do" was pretty accurate, So we just go out and do traffic.
Supportive administration.
Yeah. Yep. The current chief was actually my first FTO. He was FTOing as a sergeant, and that's how small of an agency. I mean, sergeants were going to domestics and taking people to jail. But
how many people in that agency?
I think like 20 to 25.
And then
a full shift was. What's that?
And then the one you went to in Florida, how big is that one?
What do you say, about 1,500?
I think we're slotted for close to 2,000, but it's I think they only have like 1,500.
And then the one you're at now, size wise.
We're slotted for 250, but I think we're about 200.
That is insane. Just because I know where you work, that's crazy. But do you feel that's the sweet spot, or like the 200, where it's big enough that you could do a lot of, I guess, specialty type things, but still have like the family atmosphere, I guess, instead of just being a number?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for us is like each little area is its own
Is he breaking up for you, Kenny?
I can't hear shit.
Hey, yeah, you're kind of.
It sounds like someone's typing on a keyboard.
I think he froze or he's staring at us, one of the two.
I think he's froze. No.
Yeah, I mean, because when he came to Orange, man, like I had just gotten there, and I was so young to it. I was like, man, this place is awesome. There's so much to do. I wasn't embedded enough, so I was living by the pamphlet, and it's true. There are places to go, and there's money to be made. And I think a lot of guys at the agency I'm at have literally just sold their souls and just like, I make such good. I mean, there's no point in starting a side business because you can just make double the money working off-duty gigs at all the theme parks and stuff. So like, I mean, you would have to really love your business to start one, because you're not going to make nearly as much money. You could use that time to go work at Disney or Universal and get paid $70 an hour, give or take the, $10 at the time of the year. So, but that agency is, I've just never been in a place where you literally had to like beta and like submit to people just to get a position. Like you couldn't go in as a hard charger and like not challenge people, but you couldn't go in and like, I mean, does it make sense, Adam? Like if they didn't, and it's not a good old boy system. It says like if they don't like you, you can't get in. Cause I do somewhat agree with that. But if you go in there performing the hater mentality across that entire agency, and everybody would get together that have been prior somewhere else and go like, this agency is toxic. Like you would find other prior dudes and be like, we didn't act like that. Like kids come out of the academy, and I'll be the one to say it. Anybody outside of a white male, dude, skyrocket. They're going anywhere they want, anywhere they want, anywhere they want. Like, we used to joke. I used to be like, hey, I'm going to put in for the, what is it, PAL? What's that stand for, Adam?
Is that the coaching
sport
one?
No, there's one where you work with like video games in the community.
Oh, I know.
Every single deputy's black. Every single one. I was like, is it just no white people put in for it? Or are they just like kindly saying, because it's an inter community engagement team. So yeah, if you were, I mean, I can say it now, you guys can put your earmuffs on. If you were a Hispanic lesbian, you were getting anything you want in that agency, 100%, especially if you speak Spanish.
Is it the same sheriff from when you guys started to now?
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't think there's any change from the beginning to when I left. It's just kind of like Tyler said, when you get there, it's kind of like all the flashy stuff. It seems like really cool. It seems like a lot of fun. There's a lot of opportunity, and then you get settled in, and you kind of realize you don't have support from admin. I think it was the major of the uniform division was just out to get everybody, make a name for himself.
He did 2 years on the road, and he was major of UPD. 2 years, because what he did was he did as minimal time as he could on the road, and then he started going to different units and then getting promoted. And then I don't know how you can be the major of uniform patrol division with a minimal amount of years. I mean, I'm sure he had to have gone back and did his leadership time, because the way that agency does it is if you promote to corporal sergeant, it didn't matter. Like you had to go back to the road. Like there really wasn't even SWAT. If you get promoted in SWAT full time, your ass is going right back to the road. Some of those guys hadn't seen a fucking computer in like 10 years, and they're trying to like learn how to be a road sergeant. So
wait, that was your only agency, right?
no, I worked at a sheriff's office. What was it, east of Orlando, Adam? Daytona area. That was probably like 400 to 500 man department, and I was just too young to know, I mean, if it was good or not. I just wanted more opportunity and more money, and this place was the same retirement. It was just 20 minutes away. So I just
do you think do you know which one you like more or which one you hate less?
Man, it's so hard, because the first one was Volusia County, and I don't really even remember it. I remember one time, I mean, leave it to me, I was like somewhat of a new guy. We went in, like we were on nights for a holiday, and we went in the briefing room and we were watching a movie and just responding to calls outside the briefing, right outside the building. And it was like Thanksgiving or something. And I took a picture of us and all the guys hanging out and posted it online. And the day sergeant complained to the chain of command that there was car breaks because we weren't out there. So I got in trouble for posting the picture, and I got sent to the courthouse I was there for 6 months, and I put in my application to leave, and then they were like, "Oh, actually, we want to put you back on the road." I was like, "No, I'm out." So I left.
They did that to a few people, didn't they, when they found out they were applying?
Yeah. They tried to give them anything. If they were leaving, they'll give them, "Want a brand new car? Do you want a brand new car?" Like, I would tell people, like, don't fall for it, dude. But
so they treat you like shit and then try to give you something to incentivize you after the fact, after you probably already mentally made your decision to leave.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, they did away with all of that bad admin. Like they literally ousted all of them because they were just. I mean, I don't want to, like, Mike throws around the word corrupt a lot. They were just assholes. They were just fucking assholes there. And then the agency we went to now, it's really just hard to put words on it. I don't know. I don't have a good, just no support is really what it is. I mean,
so there's been people that reached out to me from that agency, and anyone that sent me a DM basically said the same thing. The whole reel wouldn't have worked if I didn't like call you out a little bit. But I heard that your old agency, they literally are out to get you. Like it's ridiculous. And on my end, like, I've had a great agency, so I can't say, but do I see it? Yes, it's all bullshit, but it's not, like I just said, all. It's not all. It's not 100%. That's the only thing I ever say. Is like, you can't say it's all. Not all of it is horrible.
Yeah, I mean, when Adam was there was a guy, a good shoot, bad shoot, whatever. He was in a foot pursuit, and if I get the details wrong, Adam, let me know. But like, a gun was involved in the call, and there was a shooting, and the deputy shot him in the leg, and he was unarmed. And you could debate. I don't even remember the body cam. That the problem is, he was cleared by the state investigation. He was cleared by our chain of command, and then the Soros planted attorney Monique Worrell, I think is her name.
Monica Worrell.
Worrell. So yeah, she's a Soros plant. And she was the state attorney, and she indicted him with a grand jury when his lawyer didn't even know. They called him and said, "You got to come turn yourself into the jail." And
damn,
it's shit like that. I mean,
I heard that they couldn't even locate the guy that was shot.
Yeah, I mean, and our sheriff he was trying to play the political game with it. Hey man, it's gonna be cool, and he gave him a job, like he kept him around, and like, dude, at that point, as a sheriff, you need to be like, I'm not gonna let you do this to my guys. You're not going, like the Sal Aldradi thing. It's the same thing. It was a headhunt from the state attorney, and it's corrupt, and it's wrong. And if cops can't get together on that and go, we need to go to the fucking courthouse or this bitch's office and start protesting because it's our brother that she's fucking hanging for no reason. If we can't get together for that, there's no chance that this brotherhood exists. Now it's just a paycheck.
But with Sal's, his department completely supports him in everything. They've done everything in their power to help him out.
That's true. Yeah. So Sal's even got it better than that guy, because our old agency, it's not like they just didn't support him through it. They just gave him a job and everything, but they didn't fight. Like I said, sheriff in Florida, Adam, I mean, like a sheriff in Florida has retarded power. I mean, it's insane how much power they have. They have no unions to fight against. Technically, there are unions, but they don't really do anything. There's no, like, if you want to complain on a sheriff, there's no committee, there's no state, the governor doesn't care. So a sheriff really could stick it to one of these state attorney's office. And what's funny is the first sheriff I worked for is notorious for doing that, calling out the court system and the judicial system and saying, like, when there's a shooting and everybody wants to blame the sheriff's office, he'll go, hold on, and he'll read off this guy's rap sheet and list every single judge that's let him out and goes, you guys got the wrong guy. You're barking up the wrong tree.
How did you guys end up in Florida from Virginia, both simultaneously, to be cops?
Tyler was there first.
I went to college. I went to college in Daytona. and then graduated and went to the police academy. And right as I think we started law enforcement at the same time, like within a couple months.
Are you the only? Do you have any other siblings, or just you two?
We got a sister.
Not a cop.
Nope. She's married to a Marine officer. His dad was a state trooper, though.
What is your dad's perspective on the profession sucking across the board 100%?
He's more mine.
Depends on who he's on the phone with at the time. True answer.
Sounds about right. Very diplomatic of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was burned. I mean, I don't know if Adam remembers, but I think I was like a senior in high school, and he gave everything 70, 80 hours a week to the job, loved the job. He'll tell you family came second. He wasn't real. I mean, Adam was he at any sports games? Like, he was there. Like, my parents were together, and he was home every night. He didn't drink. He didn't gamble. He worked 70 to 8 hours a week, but not like hump and call. Like, he was on a bunch of badass units, and one day they just decided it's his turn and just fucking stuck it to him. And of course, another agency was like, hey, we'll pick you up. So he was able to lateral to another agency, but at that point he was like, I'm done.
How many years in law enforcement did you do?
20 something.
Yeah, 20 something. So he like how I say, he got screwed over, burnt. So a lot of what I do is from what he's done, like keep logs of what you do every day, and I go a little overboard on making sure I CYA, because you do see that happen a lot more, and it's usually guys that aren't prepared for it because everything's going great for a while, and then all of a sudden someone comes after you. And
because I mean, essentially, to simplify it, what happened is if you got to work 30 minutes early one day, legitimately 30 minutes early, and you worked, and then the next day you left 30 minutes early and you didn't document it, but you're in good grade, you've never lied, you never done anything, until that one time they're like, you left work early. And they're like, well, no, I came in early. They're like, we don't care about that. So you stole time. And I don't know if time fraud was it, but it was something along the line of logging hours.
Yeah, keeping track of it. So he now carries a journal of everything he does every day. Still.
So is that just a different administration, different supervisor, or that came after him, or it's just someone that didn't like him?
I think it was someone who quit in the last day, I believe is what it was. Like on their way out.
Yeah. It was someone. So they fucked him over and then quit?
Well, I think they were on their way out and
they were like, oh yeah, you think I'm bad? Well, somebody does this and these people do that. And he just kind of fucking lied and took down a bunch of people with anything he could.
Was that a bigger agency as well?
Probably like 200.
Okay, mid size.
Yeah, that was the city that bordered mine. It's a decent sized city in Virginia.
Yeah, dude, I remember like Adam saying I would do ride-alongs in high school, and like, dude, I just couldn't wait to be a cop. Like, there
weren't many rules back then.
And I joined the military, went to college, and came back, and I was like, what the fuck is this shit? This is not what I remember it. And my dad was our dad became a contractor, like right around the time I was in the Army, I think. Somewhere around
2011-ish, I think, maybe 2010, 2011.
Yeah,
because I think I was in boot camp when.
Okay, so like he did minimal amount of cop work when we were like adults. So like I had no frame of reference. I had nobody telling me like it's not like that anymore. And I joined, and I'm like, what is this place? Like, and
how many years difference between the time that you were riding, seeing your dad be the police, to the time that you got into?
15 years.
Oh damn, that's a big time. That's a lot. That's a lot. And that's probably
probably 10, right?
Well, I think I was riding with him like 2002 or 2003, and I became a cop in 2016. So it was like maybe 10 or 12. Yeah, 12 years probably.
So that was pre like even the Ferguson riots and all that stuff. And then you came in after it.
I came in, yeah, right around the time of. I remember I was joining the academy, the Dallas police. I call it a massacre. Happened like when I was in the academy. So like that was like I came in like during that sequence of events, that like shitty 2 years was like when I came in.
It's a rough time to come in.
We both came in, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's change topics a little bit. There was an incident that you guys both shared on your social media about a family member. Do you guys want to go into that?
Yeah.
That's actually probably the real reason we moved to Florida is because he moved there first. And
yeah,
you were visiting down there, and 9 months later.
Yeah, we love. Well, I mean, we just got such a good taste of Florida because our uncle, our dad's brother, lived down here, and he like managed like a really nice luxury apartment complex, and he just had the life, man. He was single, no kids. Like, you know, when we came in, it was all about us. Everything was paid for. He was a big supporter of the military. Like, he was an Army vet himself. So, like, he was so proud that we were in the military. And, you know, even though he got in a lot of trouble, he was a very pro cop. He just liked to party a lot. So, you know, and, yeah. So I came down here to visit him when I was on vacation in the Army. Like, we had a long weekend, so I drove down from North Carolina to Florida. I was like, I love this place, dude. I was like, Florida's like awesome. And then, yeah, and then that's pretty much essentially why I came down here for college. He had already passed because I remember I was in the Army still. It was 2011, Adam.
Yeah,
I was in a combatives level 2 course, and somebody came, like all my chain of command came in. And I didn't have my phone on me. We were grappling all day long, so our phones were in lockers. And they were like, "Hey, you need to answer your phone." And I was like, "Why are all of you here?" And so I called my mom, and she was like bawling her eyes out. And I was like, "That's it." So they're like, "We already pre-approved your was it Red Cross, Adam, when you got to go?"
I can't remember what it was.
You got like the red. It's like approved leave paid for by like the Red Cross or something, where if you have a family member die, you can go to the services. And yeah, he is essentially he was just he did not party that much. So when he did, he was vanilla in a dark world, and he just got caught up in some bad stuff and was he was executed, like murder one over some bullshit. So he fought back. Essentially, they were trying to victimize him, and he fought back, and they killed him. And then there was like no evidence. There was no gun. There was no DNA. The only witnesses were, I think, later on down the road when they started being able to like flip them on each other. One lied already in court. The other one, I mean, they're both pieces of shit. So it was like, how many years was it?
Just shy of 15. I think it was 14 and a half.
Yeah, and our aunt, our dad's sister, stayed on it like white on rice, dude. She flew down here like 15 times to. I mean, it happened. He lived like 10 minutes away from where I live now, and she would fly down here, and I would get lunch with her, and she would visit. You know, the detectives. The main detective retired, and it got sent to cold case, and she met with the cold case detectives and wouldn't let it go because essentially that's what you need, right? I mean, if you got a million cases and it's getting colder and colder, if no one is what do you call that? If no one's speaking for it, yeah, like no, yeah. So that's what she did. And Adam, do you remember what the pop was in the cold case that brought it back?
No, I don't. No.
I'd say it's ironic that I didn't realize that happened that long ago because you just whoever it was just got convicted or whatever recently that you guys posted that, right?
Yeah. So I went with my aunt to the state attorney's office. He was going to let us know what they finalized, and he's like he's gonna get 12 years for a guilty plea of manslaughter. It's like the max you can get for manslaughter. He's like, listen, he's like, we could take this to trial, but he's like, you've got no gun, you've got no DNA, and you've got no real witnesses. He's like, this would, statistically speaking, with comparable cases, be a hung jury every time. Somebody is going to go, I just don't see enough. And they might be right. It's beyond a reasonable doubt. Like, can you convict this person and send them to jail for life? And when that's how they get you in court, beyond a reasonable doubt, they'll look at the jury and that like some of the jurors are like, oh, I don't want that on my conscience. What if I'm wrong? And it's a hung jury. I got to get all 12 people. So he was like, this is our only shot. And he was like, dude, to be honest with you, he's like, do you know how many like cold case files I've convicted? And he was like, less than 5 my whole career. And he'd been doing, he was a lawyer for 25 years. So he's like, what you guys have is actually probably the best thing that could ever happen.
That's crazy. Do you know what took place? Like what led up to the, I guess, why did they kill him? And was it one person or multiple? Or yeah,
it was multiple people. It was a setup. And they were just trying, they were going to rob him.
Okay.
And so he fought back, and and anybody in the right mind would go, well, why would he do that? But if you knew our uncle, you'd go, that makes sense. So I mean, he's one of those guys that he's just a big dude, and he's a great guy, but he could punch really hard. So it's like he's always been able to deal with the stuff. I don't think he's ever carried a gun. Like he's just a fist fight guy, and they were just straight, savage, animalistic cowards, that killed somebody after they fought back because they were trying to victimize them. Like,
wow,
that was probably the hardest part, is that, you were trying to rob him. He fought you back with his hands, and then you ended his life. Like that, I think that goes against any even criminal code. Like, I mean, there has to be rules, dude. There has to be rules. And I get it. He was breaking away from the taxpayers and going into crime territory. And I understand that completely, but there's still got to be some kind of code, and they broke it.
Tyler, do you remember how we found out the first suspect was arrested? Because I was living with Tyler at the time, and he called me and found out that the first person was arrested. So the sheriff's office there was really good. We watched her get put in a police car and driven away, and then the detectives working the case brought us up, gave us coins and patches, gave us their numbers and stuff, and we took a picture with them. It was pretty cool. They took care of us.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was, man, but they were using anything they could on these guys that they had. So the 2 males were both, the one male that wasn't the shooter was in prison for something different. The female was in trouble for something, and they pretty much brought her in, and it was like, hey, if you want to work with us, not only will we not charge us, we'll make your life better. They if I remember correctly, they like helped her with school and shit, and she was involved in a fucking execution. And my aunt was really upset with that, and the lawyer was like, if we had to get her to cooperate, even though it was like nothing. Like, her testimony is shit because of her record, but it's still something. And they're like, if we tried to hammer her too, we would have nothing. We wouldn't get the shooter. That was their goal, is to get the guy that shot. And he was picked up, and I think he was in jail for like 20 months or something like that. Time served so far towards his 12 years.
The cool thing too is the handcuffs. I had a guy growing up. He was like my uncle, took me hunting and stuff like that. Our dad was his FTO, or trained him. Gave him a set of his old handcuffs. So then when I graduated the police academy, that guy gave them to me, and then I gave them to the fugitive task force hunting the guy, and they threw. So the guy who pulled the trigger were our dad's handcuffs when he went to jail. So now they've been given back to my dad. So full circle. But
that is cool. I mean, I guess it's like a sentimental or something. I mean,
yeah,
I guess it has one meaning too. That's
yeah. I mean, there's things that you can't make better, but that helps. Something like that, like your handcuffs, that you arrested bad guys with, are now on the wrists of somebody that killed your brother. Like, I think that there's, like I said, not much can help, but that helps.
How did your dad and aunt handle that whole situation of losing their brother?
I think that was the only time I seen my dad cry twice. One was when his first service dog died, and then the second time was that, I think, at the funeral. But it was just so unexpected, man. There's pros and cons. I mean, I think there's more cons than pros, but when somebody goes like that quick, one day you're on the phone with them, the next day they're murdered. Like, it just shakes your world. You really probably don't even know what to think.
think he was in Afghanistan at the time, right?
Yeah, he was in Afghanistan. Yeah. So I made sure we went into court for the sentencing, and my dad was the first one in, and he was the last one out of the courtroom. So he, as far as when that guy's case was called.
Did you guys get to give any like victim impact statements or anything like that, or no? Since it was a plea agree.
They did. They got to. My aunt did it all. Everybody was probably going to say something that there's rules to that. You're not supposed to look at the defendant. It's here, at least. You're not allowed to address the defendant. You're addressing the judge. They're virtually pointless because an agreement was made and a judge is never going. They said it can technically happen, but a judge very rarely ever goes against an agreement made by the state and the defense. The judge is going to honor whatever they agree on. So as long as it's morally and legally sound. So, you're just kind of making it you're kind of talking to the judge so the defendant hears you, essentially.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
These people, career criminals, like always been in trouble and shit too?
Yeah, they're all shitbags.
Damn, man, that's just crazy. How old was your uncle when this all took place?
40s, probably.
Okay.
How old is our dad?
I have no idea.
Born in 60.
20 years older than you, maybe 20-something years older.
He was born in 65. And it's 2025, so 60. Right?
Yeah.
So he's about to be
about to be 61.
About to be 61, yeah.
What, do you think this had any impact on you guys wanting to be the police? Like, did it give you any extra motivation or desire to do it, or just not at all?
I don't think so. We were already really motivated. Yeah, we both joined the military because where we lived at the time, you couldn't be a cop until you're 21.
Same here.
So I was a fucking loser in community college, failing community college somehow, and I was just like, ugh, I went and I worked at a movie theater at the time. I was on my break. Huh?
I thought you were in a band.
I was in a band, but that didn't pay the bills, bro.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, the band didn't make it.
They all joined the army. And like 3 out of 5 of y'all joined the army?
I think it was just me.
Oh, well, I was counting, I guess, throughout your teenage years, all different bands.
Oh, yeah. There's some kind of connect with when you're in some kind of artist thing when you're young and you're like, this shit sucks. There's no money. You kind of jump into the military quick because it's like finally like income. But yeah, I joined. I was at like a Chili's or something, and I watched on the TV like an American outpost was overran, and they showed like dead American soldiers on it, and I was like, damn. I'm sitting here ordering from a fucking Chili's at 19 years old, and these guys are all like burnt to a crisp and dead. I was like, so I joined the army.
Did you guys in the military? Did you guys go on the same I don't know, tours or whatever they're called?
They're called deployments for our freedom, Kenny, but sure. No, I joined way before Adam, and I had joined already when the war was like, I didn't go to Iraq until 2008, and we'd been at war for 7 years already. It had already calmed down dramatically. And then Adam, he's 5 years younger than me, so he joined when he was eligible. And then I will be the first one to say this, and I think all Marine infantry understand it, but he got shafted in his fucking contract. I tried telling him not to do it, and he had to go. He missed another 2 years before he could go be eligible for deployment because of I'll let him explain it, but then the whole fucking war was over.
Yeah.
Dude, that sucks.
We talked my parents into letting me sign up at 17, and then as soon as I graduated high school, I went to boot camp at 18, and my first 2 years I was guarding nuclear weapons stateside. So they have infantry guys guard nuclear weapons. You're just you're a glorified security guard, just sitting there. And then by the time I got to, like you said, my actual infantry unit, we were one of the most combat deployed unit that was going on their first deployment to Spain. So it's hard to complain that I went to Spain and we got to go to Africa for 2 weeks, but like it's not really why I joined. But
so what was your like MOS? Is that go with the Marines, or is it you were in the infantry?
Yeah, I was infantry.
And then Tyler? Airborne?
Infantry. Yeah,
Okay.
Airborne. I mean, yeah, I don't know about Adam's mindset, but I didn't see a fucking point in joining the military if you weren't going to be infantry. Because I wasn't going to learn a skill. I really wasn't going to get college. I wasn't going to get any type of benefit. I was going to go to war for only one contract. I knew I wasn't going to do more than one and get out. And so there really wasn't. I remember they were tossing ideas to me. They're like, "Oh, you could do this," and I'm like, "Why the fuck would I do that in the military? I can go do that in the States." Like, that's not, you know.
Yeah, same. I was actually looking. Tyler took me to the Army recruiter office, look at airborne contracts, and they didn't have any at the time, so I went next door to the Marine Corps. But same thing. I was like, wasn't going to do anything but infantry. So,
what was the dynamic of you guys growing up? I didn't realize that there was 5 years in between you both.
Tyler used to torture me and my sister.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get close until I was, I think, in the Army. He was, I mean, because you got to think when I was 18, he was 13. Like, there was just, we were brothers for sure, but there wasn't like that. It wasn't like a friendship until I think I was like out of boot camp, and he was like old enough, like 16, and probably, I aided and abetted in a little, criminal activity when he would come visit us. So
yeah,
it was fun.
Growing up, it was more. He watched us, me and my sister, a lot. So there was he'd take me to his shows too. I'd work the door at his concerts, and every once in a blue moon, he'd take me hang out with him and his buddies. But I usually rat on him, so I get in trouble and not be allowed back. So, but I feel like you said we didn't get close until sometime when he was in the military.
With your law enforcement career and Tyler's podcast, how's that play on you professionally?
I know there's been people that come up to me and ask me if we're related, and that's about it. I'll listen to it and I'll share some stuff. I have to watch what I share just because I'm still in it and he's not. So.
You don't want to share the Jew stuff?
No.
Now it's fun to do that. It's fun to be able to talk about stuff, but it takes a while. When you retire, it'll be a solid 6 months before you can actually, like, I can say this, like, an opinion, not anything like crazy, just an opinion, like George Floyd's a piece of fucking shit. And then you could be like, and I'm glad he's dead, but at the time, if you're a cop, especially when it happened, you couldn't say anything that was anything against St. Floyd, even though every cop in the department, all the way up to the top, knew what happened, and it was just manslaughter at best, and it was a really crappy situation. But the whole kneeling thing, and then watching chiefs, kneel to that idea, metaphorically and physically, like, that was sickening. That was sickening.
Yeah.
Like, we're not supposed to take political sides as cops, except you watch your leaders taking political sides. You're like, wait, what is this? Like, I get it. They don't like you. Like, I remember during the elections, obviously Trump and Republicans are more pro first responders. So cops were getting in trouble for driving by the Trump rallies and honking. And the sheriff would say, you don't do that. You are neutral. If they call you and they're a suspect in a crime, you have to, like, they're like, you can't be like that. That's not how cop work. And I agree with that, except when our leaders, you started kneeling with, city councilmen and mayors, and disgusting.
Yeah. How is the state that you work in now compared to the other ones?
Ooh, it's pretty cool because as a citizen, your enhanced right to privacy, but it makes interdiction a lot harder. Not a lot harder. You had to be more detailed and thorough in what you do. There's no the kill doctrine's gone. You got to type search warrants, but it's not the end of the world. You type a search warrant on the computer pretty quick.
What's unique about even that just general area? I'm not going to say the state or anything, but all those states in that general area are super big, like, I guess maybe libertarians, like guns. We don't care what you do. Like, just let us be, the kind of, so you would think that they would be a little bit more pro law enforcement, but it's just kind of like, I don't know, like libertarians, like no government, just let us be Let us have our guns. Let us like smoke our weed. Let us do whatever we want. Just let us be and let us live. And then, yeah, very small government. Something that they
our
want.
State gun laws too are insane.
Your state
like,
what?
Gun laws. There's like no state there. You have to be as a convicted felon owning a gun or in possession of a firearm. You have to be a violent offender for us to be able to do anything stateside. So like a felon who's not a violent offender possessing a firearm, there's not much I can do stateside. It's got to be taken over by the feds.
Do you make an arrest at all?
What?
Do you make an arrest at all or no?
Usually just contact the feds and see what they want. But so far
they get off the phone. They're on the phone with you, like, where the fuck's Montana at? We got a guy in Montana calling us about like.
No,
I'll be on a bird in about 3 days.
Coming from where we were at in Florida, a big city, lots of crime. I don't recall ever working. I worked with the feds one time, and it was for a human trafficking case. Out here, there's not that much crime.
I don't think I ever told you. I mean, all of a sudden one day, the DEA showed up at Orange Blossom Trail, and they were like, "Yeah, we've been sent here because your state attorney's not doing anything about dope." So they were like, "We want to work with you guys." They're like, "Show us where everything is. We'll let you have what you want. We'll take what you can't, what you don't want. We're just here to help." I was like, "Damn, that's cool as hell." And they had all the task force working with them, but they were, and they would literally. They'd set up, they'd give us radios. They're like, "We'll play by our rules. And if you can take it, get the stat. And if you don't want it or you can't take it, we'll take them for a fucking crack pipe." And dudes were getting sentenced for like years for a crack rock. I'd arrested the same dude 4 times and he just does time served 2 days. He goes in at 8 p.m. He gets out at first appearance and he gets credit for 2 days, adjudicated not guilty for possession of a. And it's like it's a fun game, right? You don't really think no one's ever going to punish these guys.
I was gonna say, in Florida, I arrested a guy. He was convicted of premeditated first-degree murder. I got him with a gun. He got 2 years probation.
Jesus.
Yeah. And then out here, I mean, you put people away for years for dope running from you, pursuits. Is like people actually go to jail and prison. So
actually, troopers are allowed to execute you roadside in Montana. They just do a judge call on the side of the road, like, "Yep, all right, you're guilty."
Yeah, I mean,
it's nice out here.
Yeah, Indiana's pretty good about it. Like, you're doing time. If you have 28 grams of any type of powder substance, you're probably looking between 10 and 20 years stateside first offense.
Whoa.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's certain parts of the country that being a criminal does not pay, and then there's other parts that you flourish in.
Our issue here is the prison's full, so then the jail's full. So if you have a warrant, it doesn't mean you're going to jail.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Oh, it's kind of like how COVID was here.
Yeah, and well, it started with COVID, and then it just.
And then they were like, "This works."
I've had
we could just leave them out there.
With like no bond warrants, jail would be like, "Nah," so I'll just drop them to another jail. But it's crazy how they can just say no. It's gotten a lot better. I haven't been told no for a felony in a while, but.
Wait, do you know before you take them there, or do you take them there and they're like, "Nah"?
Generally, before. I had one where I took them there, and they refused to open the Sally port, so I just had to take my
Hey, you want to go home? Where do you want to go?
Oh yeah. Then jail staff got a talking to for that one apparently, but it's because we were told if we make the decision and bring them, they have to take them, and it was a felony warrant, so I hooked the person. I was hunting the person too, so I was excited. I hooked them up, brought them to jail, and they just went over the door. Well, you're free to go, I guess.
You take them back where you picked them up and just wipe them off, and
I think I asked them, and they're like, "No, they didn't want to go back in the car." I was like, "All right,
I'll Uber."
What's the dynamic up there compared to Florida, man? How's your backup look like? Are you close?
Depends on where I'm working. It's if you're in one of the cities, even the smaller cities, you're probably gonna have backup, but like then you'll have 100, 150 miles between you and the next city, and it might just be you. So
that's insane.
When I got here, our portables were horrible. I didn't carry a portable radio. You know, just because it hardly worked, and then no one was going to be able to get to you quick. So, but luckily they've issued us new radios that apparently work a lot better. So,
have you tried it yet?
I carried on me at least.
I heard they work. I don't know yet.
So you said that you get to make your own schedule. How's that work?
Just because I'm on the criminal interdiction team. So they, my sergeant says, as long as we're out there doing 80 hours of pay period, stopping cars, working, he's good with us, moving our schedule around. We try to work Monday through Thursday one week and Tuesday through Friday the next, but I've worked a couple weekends here and there, and we'll do operations. The operations the one time when we don't get to make our own schedule, and we'll work long shifts all week long. But
let's talk statistics. So obviously you don't need a lot. Montana doesn't have, like, if the state police does not have more than a couple hundred people, then the population is not as big as one might think. So what is the crime statewide? Like, obviously you probably have places like how Florida is, like Miami is drastically different than the Panhandle, but
Yeah.
is your crime rates lower than other states?
I would say so. I don't know statistics, but it's not like, even where I live, a lot of people would say it's a shithole, but it's not violent. You know, we don't have shootings. The city of Billings is what I've been told is a pretty violent city, but it's not going to be like Orlando. You know, it's
You guys know what I want to ask next, right?
yeah, don't do
Do you guys have reservations up there?
it. Yeah. Luckily, I don't. It's a jurisdictional nightmare from what I've been told. I don't know. I've never worked near one, and it's like some reservations we do have jurisdiction, others we don't have jurisdiction over tribe members, and it's just, I just stay away because I don't want to worry about that jurisdictional line. So, because it's weird to me that we can stop someone in our state and not be able to make any enforcement actions or
outside of their
on their reservation.
Oh, I was
But
about
it's
to
not
say
like-
it's like a free pass.
I thought
it's wild.
I thought
Let me go.
I thought you could make the stop or make the investigation, but if it was like a tribal member, there was some caveat to it and all that other
Yeah,
nonsense.
I think, like, obviously you won't know until you make the stop.
Right.
Then I think if it's a tribal member, I think you have to have tribal, depending on what reservation it is, have a tribal cop come enforce it. I'm not 100% on that, but that's why I stay away. I just stick to the interstate. I don't have to worry about any jurisdictional lines.
Yeah, I could only imagine. It just seems like it'd be a complete, I don't know, like cluster, or it would be a way for criminals to get away with crimes pretty conveniently and easily.
What's the risk of, like, someone driving in Montana, and if you're not used to Montana, like, is actual, like, not priorities, but are you guys, one of your jobs is to drive and look for stranded motorists who ran out of gas? Or
we should, yeah. I mean,
like, could you imagine running out of gas? You can't see anything in eyesight, and it starts getting cold, and you have no cell service.
Yes,
you're like, I hope a cop comes.
If I'm going through somewhere with no cell service and there's a car on the shoulder, I'll always stop, just because you don't really know what's going on. I've gotten used to, like, if it's before you lose cell service, a lot of people know and will pull over and be on the phone before they lose service. But yeah, I mean, I don't carry a gas can. I call them a tow truck, and the tow truck will bring them out gas, and they have to handle the bill. But
what's that take, like a day and a half?
What's that?
What's that take, like a day and a half?
No, it's not that bad. We did have a productivity system for a while, like judging how proactive you were, and during the winter storms, obviously you don't want to be out making a ton of traffic stops because you want to be available for calls, but then that kind of hurt your productivity. So I had a captain that's like, hey, if you want to go run this highway route and look for stranded motorists, he's like, hey, count that towards your productivity time so it doesn't show. It's hard to explain, but he was pretty much like, hey, make that your job and claim that as
two birds, one stone. Everybody's happy.
Yeah. So
did you guys, I know you guys are definitely huge supporters of the broadcast and you listen to every single episode, but the one that Justin just co-hosted yesterday, like, I didn't think about it like this. They were talking about ICE and how ICE they're starting to grab the low-hanging fruit because a lot of their big targets they either can't find or they already got them. So now they're going after, like, not even joking, like they're going after the lawn care workers and the construction guys. They're just showing up, grabbing them all. And a lot of people now are like, well, hey, wait, you said you were only going after the violent ones. And I was trying to, obviously Justin knows, but I was explaining to Jimmy, I was like, that's how it is, dude. On a slow night, you can either be the guy that goes, hey, I'm not going to get any stats. These people don't deserve it. And then you got no stats. And you do that for an extended period of time. On paper, that makes you look different. So, of course, you go on slow nights. Of course, nobody wants to take a guy for a crack rock if you can get the best fucking felony charges of the night. But at some point when it's like 3 a.m, you're like, dude, I've got to get an arrest tonight. A lot of people don't admit that they do that, but we do.
I've been talked to a time or two about that because we're supposed to be looking for like large quantity of drugs coming out the interstate, but we have a little area right off the interstate that the county won't patrol it because they don't have radio reception, and it's filled with warrants.
Guys.
So we have radio reception there, so I'll patrol it a lot, and it's just filled with warrants and user dope. I've gotten a couple of distro cases out of there, but a gun, and but it's also when you're dealing with local shitbags versus people trafficking dope, it's the local guys that are the ones that fight and run.
Mm-hmm.
So the paperwork that goes to my captain is always that and not the other one. So kind of try to get better at stop chasing the little stuff. But like you said, on a slow night, and part of it's just boredom. You know, I'm just sitting there ready to go. And there's not a lot of traffic out here at night in the winter. Like one car every so often.
You're guilty.
You're
doing something illegal.
I think last stop, there's 3 of us in a meeting, and there's like one car every 30 to 45 minutes.
Jesus.
It was boring. So,
have you seen an influx or impact of Canadian dope coming down into Montana?
That's something we've talked about trying to start working. Is we work a lot of west to east. We don't work a lot of north to south. And we brought it up trying to work because we have one of the borders coming down I-15. Trying to get an op to go up there and start working. We've seen some, we've heard of like the state Southwest grabbing stuff coming up through 15 up to Canada, but we haven't anything huge. You'll see the Border Patrol catching semis and stuff. But
what about influx since the southern border? So lockdown of any type of immigration stuff coming through the northern border?
I don't know if they're coming through. We've worked with Border Patrol quite a bit. Our last op, I think they deported 41 people in 5 days of just doing an operation.
Aliens?
Illegal aliens, yeah. I can say it because it's in the news.
Well,
but yeah, Google.
Are they just coming in through Canada, or are they Canadians?
No. Sorry, they're in Montana, just up north. I think a lot of it has to do more with Washington. I don't know about them coming south into Montana. I think a lot of it's just. I mean, I remember when I was a cop in Florida, people would go up to Washington, get a driver's license, and come back down to Florida, and they'll figure out if you just ask them what their address was, and they would never know it. So you knew how it's they're just going to Washington to get a driver's license.
Like information we're getting is like a lot of people that are very pro, like countries like India, China. Instead of going into Mexico, they're going into Canada, then coming back down through the northern border.
I could see that. We haven't really dealt with it much.
I'm just curious.
Not that I know of, at least. I mean, we work with Border Patrol a lot, but it's usually during operations. So they do their thing, we do ours, and just kind of work together.
Tyler, I have a question.
What's that?
Where do you stand on your perception of law enforcement on a national average? And it's 2-part. Would you ever encourage your son to be in law enforcement?
I think that my personal opinion is I think the blue line brotherhood is gone. That doesn't mean that the job has to suck. But to justify that with little tiny patches of morale here and there across the country, like it's been completely wiped off the earth, off the country. That'd be like saying like, oh, all the humans are still alive, even though there's only tribes living in like parts of the country. Like they're gone. Like the brotherhood's gone. There's no, that mindset doesn't exist anymore for a lot of reasons. Some of it to blame for this generation, of people, but and the other question is, no, I would not. I would want him to do anything else. But you have to be quiet. You can't tell him that because that's what kids do is they go do exactly what they're like, man, it must be cool if he's telling me not to do
it. So with your current opinion on law enforcement, what would your fix be? A reasonable fix within, because we understand that we cannot change the politicians, we cannot change the criminal justice system.
The only thing we can do is band together. In social media, we have that. We have the ability to do it. So build the Blue Line Brotherhood back up. That's what we have to do. We have to rebuild that. We have to have things like Police Week. Still, I from what I understand, it's still a thing. We have to have things like, as nerdy as they are, Street Cop Conference, and then the thing in that you're doing in Myrtle Beach. We have to have those things and more, but and we have to continue to encourage, not only the formal part of it, whether it be memorials or education, but we have to encourage the nightlife. We have to encourage the hanging out. We have to encourage, and like, dude, look at social media though. Fucking cops are toxic people. Like they just are like, you're fucking wrong. I'm fucking right. Like they can't, like any other profession gets online and like, yeah, like, but not cops. They all fucking hate each other. You don't see firemen doing that. You don't see military people doing it so much, but cops get on there and they're like, you're a fucking idiot. I'm right. You're a loser. You have no idea what they're talking about. Like, and if I'm wrong, I must just be on different social media pages. I remember I left a private group, law enforcement only, something like that. I left it. I was like this, and I was just a brand new cop. I was like, you guys are fucking. I mean, it was beyond toxic. It was like
that one's a lot of retired guys, and it is toxic. And I don't understand that where the old guys that are done and gone off the job are the ones that are so fucking negative when you have young guys that are coming in, or young girls that are trying to like better themselves. And if I come to you and ask you a question, it's not the opportunity for you to fucking blast me. It's like, hey, I'm humbling myself enough to be like, I don't know, and I need advice, and I'm not getting it through the right channels. This is the only other option I have. And then they get fucking blasted. I'm like, that's not the way that you build this back better.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's I don't think it's savable. I'm not the type of guy that can listen to a room full of guys complain and then not do anything about it. I mean,
I agree.
Of course, I don't expect guys to not be the real hard chargers will quit the job and be like, you know what, fuck this is stupid. But I don't expect guys who don't have any other life skills, who banked on law enforcement being the fucking dream job. I don't expect them to go and be like, why, wifey, I quit. Like, I don't like the job anymore. So I get it. But I mean, do we just sit there and we watch each other get picked off with policy, procedure, and punishment? And we go, man, that sucks for him. That sucks they did it to you, man. Fuck them. Fuck admin. And then we don't do anything about it. Our unions are powerless. People are trying to tear the unions down up north. At least up in the Northeast, they still have unions, but they're trying to get rid of them. And as soon, what?
You said something that I've noticed a lot now. People talk about, oh, hang out with non-cops. Hang out with non-cops seems to be a big push. But like you said, people need to. I'm a big fan of going out with your partners and hanging out with them off shift, because you don't want to talk about cop work, but go out and be like,
yeah, I think that's really important.
Kind of gone away.
I think it's really important. I talk about all the time. The take-home cars killed that. There used to be things called choir practice. The shift got off. Obviously, take-home cars are way better than choir practice, so I'm not bitching and complaining, but it is a con to it. And especially when you work at a place where your boys live an hour or 2 hours away from you, they're not going to be able to get off shift and then go back out. So you kind of have to do it on your days off. And then nobody really as a grown man, you really don't want to do anything on your day off because you got the wife, the kids, you got everybody.
Off-duty gigs.
Yeah, I mean, so it's not saying like I wouldn't do it. It's just not as easy as coming off the adrenaline off a crazy shift and be like, dude, let's go get some fucking beers. Like we deserve it. We just worked 3 days straight, crazy shifts. And but I mean, I get that, but I'm telling you guys right now, and I didn't believe it either. Within 6 months, your phone will stop ringing from those people, and you'll have your regular friends that you had always calling you. If they're still at work, it's not that they're maliciously doing it, is that you're gone now. New group threads have started, new things have started, and you're like, and they stop coming in. I would hope to God I'm wrong, and that there's people out there that were cool and wanted to still hang out with you, but sometimes in government work, the job and the uniform is the only thing bringing us together, because we really wouldn't have been friends outside of that. Like in the military, like our platoons looked like an elementary school book. There's Asians, Hispanics, African Americans. There's all kinds of people in there, and they never would have hung out with each other. But because you're in the same platoon, now you're going out and you're really building some crazy camaraderie. That's because you're in that unit together, and it actually could be stronger than a friendship. But then it dissolves just as fast as it came to be, because you don't have that anymore. You're not part of it. So again,
is the military the same
I'm
way?
trying not to be cynical. I'm trying to explain how it happens, but at the end of the day, it is what it is.
Is the military the same way about as you are out of it for 6 months or so, the text and those messages stop coming through from the people you were in the military with?
I think it differs per experience. Like a lot of the guys that I was in with, some of them became cops. Lots of them became drug abusers. Some of them died. And then I remember one of the cops is now a drug abuser. He's a whole crew. Yeah, he went downhill. So I mean, I don't know. No, to answer, there's one guy I talked to. His name is Matt Chambers, and he's up in Wisconsin, I think.
He's a trooper too.
He's a trooper up in Wisconsin, and he, and we text every 6 months. He just checks on the family, and that's it. I really don't think I talked to anybody else.
So what our department does is every 3 months, 4 months, whatever it is, they have like turn parties for their entire crew. So you would come off midnights, you would have theoretically like a 36-hour reset. The whole crew goes out together, and that's where they like go to dinner, go to someone's house, like drink, whatever it is. So it does build some camaraderie outside of the work that you're doing. And so it's not as cool as choir practice, because we used to have the same thing before we got take-home cars. But now this still kind of gives you that occasionally. It's just not as often, but it is a way that you can now get together with your guys and girls and have outside of the job conversations and real life fucking talks. So you don't just talk about police work 100% of the time. You get to know people's families and shit like that.
Do the guys that used to be there come?
We do. No, not really. Nope. I mean, that's it. Do you go to yours?
Their fault I didn't invite them, Tyler. Come on.
No,
their fault I forgot they existed.
No. I mean, so that's one thing that I do. There's about 4 guys that I really looked at, maybe 5, that I'll shoot them text, every so often and stuff for retired guys. But again, is it the active guy's responsibility, like to go to like the FOP? They're still part of our FOP and stuff, and you don't see them there. So it's like, who is at fault here? I don't know. I'm not trying to put fault, but like, you know what I'm saying? If they wanted to be a part of
true friend, it wouldn't be someone's responsibility to stay in touch. That's what I'm saying. It's not true friendship.
Yeah.
It's brotherhood. It's I don't think it's camaraderie. But camaraderie, as soon as the battle's over, there's no reason to be. You're not friends. So I don't think that's a true friendship. There's no one's responsibility. It's no one's fault. Like to sit there and say like, well, I mean, is it their fault that they don't show up? Like, no, they're retired. It's not a friendship. It's not your fault either. That's the thing. It's friendship. People do it organically.
Right. You're right. You're right. I see what you're saying.
That's my opinion.
And then one other thing you said, people that are miserable in the job think that they don't have life skills. But we've talked about this many times. You as a cop, you have way more life skills than you give yourself credit for. Like you are probably one of the better communicators in this country, because you're like trying to communicate with people that talk them off the ledge of like suicide or fucking fighting. Like you're a great manager of.
You're the best communicator. You're the best salesman. You're the best at customer service. Like, you're the best at everything. All you got to do is literally, it used to be a thing where you took your resume to somebody, you just chat GPT. I'm really experienced in leadership, really experienced in sales, really experienced in customer service, and really experienced in communication. And here's what I did. And they'll build you and tailor it to this. This is a job I want. And you're fucking golden. And none of that's a lie. You're a great salesman. You don't want to take the crappy calls. You want to sell people into handcuffs. You're a great communicator. You're a great leader. You have to lead the community. You are an appointed person of an elected official, essentially. And you were chosen by the public to wear a badge and enforce social contract theory. So you have to lead them. So you're automatically a leader. And I know that sounds corny, but think about it. You show up in a fucking argument with 8 people. You are in charge. You're leading. You're leading everybody to a safe dissolution of screaming at each other. I know I'm like the Dr. Phil of law enforcement, but it's true.
How do you feel communication works in the specialty that you have?
The special needs that I have?
Well, Adam, how do you feel that communication in the specialty that you have?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got to be able to learn how to talk to pretty much anybody. Especially out here, it's much easier to get consent. Being able to talk to someone, you need to be able to read people's behavior, how they respond to you. So I think that's the biggest thing is just high volume traffic stops and good communication. And that's how
long did it take you to lose that East Coast accent and have like backwoods accent now?
I mean, we were from Southwest Virginia, so we didn't have
Tyler doesn't have it. Tyler has like some very like boisterous East Coast Italian type.
I think, honestly, here's my explanation, and Adam can back me up. I learned how to talk in the North, and then I finished learning how to talk in the South. So I have some weird like accent no one can ping, because it's true. Like I started learning to talk in the North, and then I like finished up learning to speak in the South in Virginia. And Adam grew up in Virginia, like straight up. So he's got a Southern accent.
Yeah, he does.
So I'll probably
anything you guys want to touch on? I appreciate you guys joining me. I know it was kind of an unorthodox podcast, but I wanted to get both of you guys on here because of Tyler's current views on the profession, and then Adam's always having the same views on the profession.
Adam's got about 27 more years until he can retire.
Yeah, he keeps hopping. But, I'm going to be 50 when I retire anyway. So actually, I think I can retire sooner now than I could if I stayed in Florida.
Yeah, I mean, I make fun of it. I mean, at the end of the day, you're not going to quit working. And when we're 80, like, dude, you're still going to have to work. Like, everybody has to work. You can't afford health insurance. I would tell any young man now, if you're going to work for the government, go find a place that takes care of you health insurance wise when you retire. Like, there's a lot of places that'll keep you on their health insurance. And that is probably the best thing you could ever do, because you retire at 45, 50 years old, and you're like, cool, thanks. Now I got to get health insurance. And they're like, whoa, you're old as shit. Your rates are going to be through the roof. Like,
I think all the feds do, like the FBI, DEA, ATF, like you get lifetime insurance for you and your spouse.
I would imagine so. It's Uncle Sam money.
Yeah, I wish I would have looked at that before I became a city cop.
Don't worry, Kenny. You're going to retire and enter the sphere of podcasting, and it pays really well.
It pays us on nothing. You got my sponsor. You got my one. You hooked me up with a sponsor, and you got it taken away.
I just think, man, it's hard. Like those first responder owned companies, dude. You just can't. You have to, if you want to be profitable. I didn't believe in it, but like let's just say like a small. I mean, I know which one you're talking about, but let's say like a cup company. Like I'm a first responder cup company. Like, you cannot do the job and launch that. You have to, if you really want it to work, you have to go get a loan, and you have to dedicate 18 hours a day to building that company, like all day long. And a lot of these guys sit there and think that they're going to have a company and it's going to get them out of it. But you have to work, like, no joke, 18-hour days, 7 days a week to get yourself out of a career, which I did, because I remember I talked to my wife. about leaving, and I was like, well, I make $6,000, give or take $6 to $7 grand a month, straight cash after taxes. And I was like, my retirement and my health insurance is already paid for. So like I walk away at the end of the month, $6,000 or $7,000 after taxes and after everything's taken out. I was like, so not only do I have to get that money, but I have to pay for my own retirement and my own health insurance now. So I'm going to need to make about 10 grand a month. And that sounds like a lot, but dude, once you're on your own, dude, fucking health insurance is retarded. It's ridiculous. It's either Obamacare or you have to go work for a company to get their health insurance. Like it's not out there because Blue Cross Blue Shield, that's Obamacare. They just changed the name. So
Really?
yeah, it's, you know, it's tough. And like retirement and so that's what I did. So I had a goal. And then once I was making that much money with my, that's not just podcasting, it's other businesses too. Once they combine and you know, the VA rating, I combined that too. That's how, like, once I made that much money, I left. And I was very fortunate, but I worked really fucking hard at it. Like harder than, you know, I worked on it at work a lot. While crime was passing me, I was fucking doing designs. I was cutting reels. I didn't care anymore.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I in our first podcast that you and I did, like I told you, like I think that you laid a foundation of people that wanted to be a cop, but now want to get out. They didn't want to do 20 years. They want to do 5, give back to their community. You laid a foundation of how someone can do it and have success with whatever else they wanted to do afterwards. If they want to start their own business, I think that as much as people talk shit about you, you did a great, you laid a great roadmap for someone that wants to, you know, give a little bit back to the society, and then go and do your own personal adventures. If someone wants to actually go that route, I think they just hit you up. I think you'd fucking lay a foundation for them and show them how to do it.
Yeah. I like being the guy that can make people laugh because they can't say it. They're like, I can't say that, but it's funny. Like the things that we say with each other outside of the public sphere, like you wouldn't say on body cam or you wouldn't say on a call. The things that you talk about at a gas station, like the frustrations of X, Y, Z, you know, I like being able to talk about that and make light of it. So people don't feel crazy. Like they're like, okay, so this guy clearly he has a voice and he's saying the same thing I'm thinking. So like, I'm not crazy. And I feel like that would be less frustrating. I feel like the way I looked at it, like when I saw like people I looked up to, like rock stars or actors, when they said the same things I thought, I was like, okay, so I'm not nuts. Like somebody that I look up to or respect or admire is probably a better word, is thinking the same thing I'm thinking. I keep shaking the fucking table. Sorry.
Oh, good. How many private messages you get today about the reel that you cut?
None. People will know I'll fucking cook them in person too.
No, I figured that you had a bunch of pro Tyler and fuck Kenny. DMs.
No, dude. I mean, I think it's really good. I think it's really split down the middle. I mean, Adam's probably the best person to gauge it because he knows us both. He knows what both of our prerogatives are. And you know, like I told you on the phone, I don't want to break the fourth wall and like break character, but I want people to know that the goal when I first started this podcast and still today is put some fucking balls back in police work. So however that has to be done, it's kind of fun to do it WWE style. It's the entertainment business. So to go out and like be the headlining fucking wrestling match with you and all the cops are eating their popcorn, like this is fucking good. Like, yeah, like we call wrestlers like they're athletes, but they're acting. So it's like they're cops, but they're, you know what I'm saying? Like it's all for, you know, to bring awareness. And if people want to be like, you know what, if you have half the people saying, you know what, fuck, this job is awesome and I don't give a fuck who says it, say it fucking louder, dude, because you could change it. Like stop sitting there by yourself and actually get out there. And if they're saying in the comment sections, then say it. Like you shouldn't be ashamed. It's not it's cool to like what you do. It's cool to be like, dude, everybody's wrong. This is fucking awesome. And so that's kind of like my take on it. But no, nobody messages me because I'll fucking yell at them. I like to do it in the comment section anyways.
My only thing is that it's like, and I already said it, but like there's people that look up to you that want to get in the profession. And then I just feel like with the constant, they look up to you for leadership and aspiration. And it's 100% bad and all admins suck and all cops suck, like, or all cops are miserable. Let me rephrase that. Like, they're not looking at it like, oh shit, maybe this is the wrong decision and I don't want to be a cop anymore. And they probably would be good cops. And some of the shit might deter them from going down that avenue, which in the long run just hurts the law enforcement profession in my mind.
But I might have helped them.
Maybe, yeah. If they're not mentally, if they're not mentally prepared to like handle your
I feel like it's like when we're like, whoa, a recruiter lied to me. Like, no one holds recruiters responsible for the military. Like, they lied their asses off to get you in. They don't care. Like, I'm 5 years in and this shit sucks. Like, too bad, loser. You believed me. So like, I feel like, you know,
not that,
but it's
also,
off. Yeah, like day one. But I mean, it's like it's a rite of passage too. It's like any kind of warrior job. Yeah, dude, you wouldn't make it. Like, you ain't gonna like it, dude. Like, imagine, flip the script. Gang life. They tell you you do not want a part of this. You do not want to be here. You're not gonna like it. That, you know, but they watch all the cops. They watch people like us all talk, and they campfire stories, you know, and they're like, it's like it's like making me want to do it more, dude. Like having someone say, you don't want this lifestyle, go do something easier. Go think of yourself. Go just live an easier life, man. You don't want this. And then they see everybody like, dude, telling war stories and like, it's just, it's that other aspect where it's not just recruiting, like, come. It's like, yo, dude, you're not built for this, man. You won't like it. Don't worry about it. Just go do something else. That really does help recruiting, I think, in a way.
I think you're right. And when you and Mike talk about before, like how you left law enforcement, especially Mike, you could see like how passionate and how much he actually like loved the job. It just ended poorly for him. But you listen to him talking, like, he doesn't talk about a lot about what he did, but when he does, you can see that like he was very vested in it. He did a good job. He was a good cop, and he took pride in what he did. So therefore, the 18 or 20 years he did prior to leaving, I'm like, you're leaving on the bad note, but you're not showcasing all the good that you did and how much fun you actually had when you did it.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like our dad, it takes a long time. He was personally burned by people that he trusted, Mike. It takes a long time to get over that.
That makes sense.
To be burned like that by people that you looked in the face and that knew your family. Like, and so I got to leave on my own accord. I'm just bitching about the industry. Like, I left like 2 weeks notice, the whole 9 yards, had lunch with everybody. Like, I did the classic I'm leaving thing. And I had a great experience when I left, except when I found out I was in an IA when I was leaving. So, but, I mean, so I didn't get burned like that. So it's really easy for me to generalize things and like keep it like a culture thing, and to not really think like, I'm not pissed. I'm not mad about anything. Mike's mad. Mike's pissed. Like, he's fucking, and I think once he achieves his goals of his corrupt sheriff being like seeing justice, I think that it might help a little bit. Like, seeing, like, as a victim, seeing somebody be sent away, like, it doesn't fix it, but it helps a little bit, and maybe he'll be less pissed off all the time.
No, that makes sense. Adam, what's your perception on the law enforcement community?
Oh, I think I can see when I moved to Florida, it was a big difference from what we grew up with. Like, all my dad's partners and stuff were like our uncles, or at least for me, because I was always going to canine training with our dad and got close to them all. Then we moved to Florida, or when I moved to Florida, it was a lot different, where people, like Tyler said, you would be working with a guy that lived an hour or two away from you. And so you wouldn't hang out on weekends. You wouldn't hang out on your day off. So the brotherhood, I felt like there wasn't really a lot of brotherhood in that agency, which is funny because you would think bigger agency, but there was, I talked to less than 5 people from Florida on a regular. And that being generous, I talked to 1 on a regular and a couple here and there. But then I moved back out here. It's funny because we grew up with our dad, old school professional courtesy. That's not a thing out here at all. But it's still, the brotherhood's still there. You know, I say there was one guy in Orange County. His dad was an old school cop though too. We were actually celebrating. I think it was my uncle's birthday after he had passed. I went to the Wing House, right, Tyler? So I went to the Wing House he used to always go to, and I rode my motorcycle there. And I didn't plan to drink, and I celebrated my uncle's birthday, so I ended up drinking, and I realized I wasn't able to drive my bike home. It was in the middle of the ghetto, so I didn't want to leave.
I crashed it, so I couldn't drive it.
So
turns out
this guy that I worked with, I hit him up. He drove an hour from his house with his girlfriend. We jumped in the car with his girlfriend, and he drove my motorcycle 20 minutes, 30 minutes opposite direction, dropped us off, and they got in the car and drove an hour and a half home.
See, that's cool.
And, that was pretty cool. That was the only time I really felt the brotherhood in Florida. But up here, it's been a little more cliquey, depending on what state agency, depends on what your focus is. There's a lot of DUI hounds, traffic hounds, crash guys, drug guys, and it's kind of. But I try to get along with everybody. I've always been kind of like that, and there's definitely more of a brotherhood here than there was in Central Florida.
Cool, man. I end every podcast with one question. Tyler's already answered it. Adam, we teach for Justice Academy. What is your definition of justice?
Oof. I actually knew that. I'd say, oh man, that's a good one. I got the typical answer where
I'm gonna have Mike roast you, by
time.
the way, so go ahead.
What's that?
So I'm gonna have Mike roast you, by the way, so go ahead.
For what? Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you, man.
Oh man,
I know.
You're the only person that never answered that question.
Because everybody answers it, and they're like,
Oh yeah.
Like, why do you like breathing air? Tell me. Like, this is such a general question.
I mean, everyone has their own definition of justice, and typically,
what was mine? Do you remember what I said?
It's something about being impartial, like being consistent across the board, not having any going into a situation with a biased opinion, something along those lines. Where if I stop you, I already know that I'm not giving you a speeding ticket, but if you're a dick to me, I'm still not giving you a speeding ticket. It's just
yeah.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
What you got?
Yeah, I went to college, but I only went for the money. I don't really remember much of it. No.
What's that have to do with justice?
What's your own?
I'm saying I'm not educated. I don't know.
What is your own personal perception of what justice is?
I guess making sure when we're doing enforcing the law, making sure we're doing it the correct way, following case law, criminal law, chasing prosecutions, not just trophy pictures.
Do you believe in playing in the gray?
Okay, so that's a good question because I think there's playing in the gray is okay because playing in the gray is stuff you don't know, like case law hasn't been decided on it, stuff like that. I think you have your black and your white, or you're right and you're wrong, and you have your wrong, and then if you're playing in that area, then you shouldn't be doing that. You have your right, which we all know. There's a lot of gray area unknowns in police work. I feel like as long as you go into the gray or the unknown, and you're making conscious decisions about what you're doing, I think it's okay to play in the gray. Because there's a court case came out about it yet. You got to make it happen. So one of the best pieces of advice I was given in the academy was there's mistakes of the mind and mistakes of the heart. The mistakes of the mind can be always forgiven. It's the mistakes of the heart that get you in trouble. So as long as you're going in that gray area, you make a mistake, but you can't go in that gray area knowing you're leaning towards the wrong.
Out of maliciousness or just complete illegal shit.
Yeah, like that. I don't believe in playing that because I
think the difference between the generation before us, like Mike's generation, is they called it borderline violating your Fourth Amendment rights, and I'm like, I just wouldn't call it that. That's awful. And that's what they mean. Like they're being just bluntly honest. Like that's playing in the gray to them. Like they're like, oh, they're at the cusp, but they will stop. They won't. But I'm like, I don't like that verbiage.
When I came here, another sergeant read one of my reports and told him I was walking the line. And my sergeant was like, well, you got guys that are don't act constitutionally in the wrong, and you have guys that are too afraid to do their job, and the line would be in the center. So if you're walking that line, it's probably a pretty good line to walk.
That's what I say. Like, if you're walking the line, that's a good thing. If you're stepping over that line, that's problematic. But if you're walking the line, then you know what you're doing, and you're doing it
as long as you know where the line is and will be.
Yeah.
Right.
Awesome, guys. Well, I appreciate it, and I'm sure Tyler makes some good reels of both of us and just make fun of us the whole time. So that's probably how we'll see.
You'll now experience, like, okay, I said something in between that. That was okay. That pause was longer, like out of context. No, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't do that, but
yes, you would.
I tell everybody, I never flip flop anything. So if you ask Adam a question and then you ask me a question and then you go back to Adam and I was like, God, and then you look back and you're like, this reel would have been way better without Tyler talking then. I think that's morally okay to crop that out because it has nothing to do with a streamlined conversation. What I don't do is I don't take one thing you said and then put it in front of something else. And then it makes it look like, because I know people that do that.
Yeah. As long as it's in chronological order, you're not going to take something I said here and then put it like at the beginning of the podcast where it completely out of context. I get that. Later, guys.
Later.
Sweet. See y'all.